Hi, welcome to Driving TV and I hope you are well. In this video, I'd like to talk to you about some of the things the learners are confused of. There are many questions they need answering. And because of those confusion and because of those questions they have, they are failing the driving test. So in this video, I'd like to answer some of the most common questions the learners have about the driving test. Hopefully, it will take away your confusion and help you to pass the driving test. So let's start the lesson. So like I said, there are many things the learners are confused about the driving test. They have many questions about the driving test. So let's start with those questions and the confusions. Number one, how many parking are there in the driving test? Now in the UK, you need to learn 4 parkings. And out of the 4, you'll get to do 1 in the driving test. Also, you might have to do the emergency stop. That's an addition. You might do the emergency stop, you might not. 1 in 3 people in the UK get to do the emergency stop. So you might do it, you might not. But you will do 1 parking out of the 4 in the driving test. What are the 4? The 4 parkings you need to learn is the parallel parking, and there are 2 parkings in the bay, 1 to go forward, 1 to reverse, and also the other parking is stop on the right, reverse, and then move off. So these are the 4. Out of the 4, you'll have to do 1. And like I said, in addition, you might do the emergency stop. 1 in 3 will get to do the emergency stop. So you might do it, you might not. Second confusion is that, can I correct parkings? Many learners, they're confused or they have a question. When I go to the test and if I can't do the parking in one go, can I correct? Of course you can. It's part of your driving test. So if you are doing a parking, which is a parallel parking or bay parking, and you couldn't do it in one go, make sure you get your car prepared, go forward and correct. The only thing I would add is when you go forward, don't go all the way and as if you are doing it from the beginning. Just go forward a little bit and correct. Okay, so yes, if you can't do it in one go, no problem. Get the car prepared, make sure it's safe, go forward and correct. The next question you might be asking, how many times can I correct? Well, there is no number how many times. You don't want to do 10, 20 times, okay? Because then that would be too much, wouldn't it? Just make sure you don't need to do it too many times, because if you do too many times, what does it mean? It means that you need help on that, okay? So correcting is okay, but you don't want to do it too many times. Next is, what if I don't feel comfortable with my sitting position? Can I correct in the test? So you've started your driving test and now you don't feel comfortable with your sitting, because your sitting position is important, right? Unless you're comfortable, you're not going to be able to do the test right. So you want to make sure you are comfortable. If you are not comfortable, can you correct? Of course you can, as long as you stop safely, looking at the mirror, put the signal on, stop safely somewhere safe, correct, and then move off safely. Okay, so yes, if you don't feel comfortable, stop somewhere safe on the left, safely. Make sure you look at the mirror, put the signal on, stop somewhere safe on the left, and then adjust your seat, make sure you're comfortable, and then move off safely by looking at the mirror, putting the signal on, make sure the blind spot is safe, and then move off. Next, what if I speed a little? Am I going to fail for that? Now, the confusion is, obviously, if you speed, you will fail your test because it's illegal to speed. So if you go above the speed limit, you will fail. Now here's the thing. Say the speed is 30 and you've just gone 31 or 32, make sure you go down quickly. Just because you've gone up a little bit, it doesn't mean you're going to fail straight away. Okay, so if you go up a little bit, maybe 31 and 32 instead of 30, come down quickly. Look at the mirror, come down quickly, that will be fine. But if you stay on it for too long, you will fail because that means you're not looking for the speed. So make sure you check your speedometer when you drive. And if you go above a little bit, come down quickly. By looking at the mirror, just come down, that will be fine. But don't stay on it for too long. So the question is, if I go above a little bit, do I fail? No, as long as you come down quickly. If you stay on it for too long, you will fail your test. Next confusion is, many learners, they have this thing about examiners, they have a number of learners they pass in a month. Now this is totally rubbish. It is wrong for you to think there is a number of learners examiners pass in a month. That is totally incorrect and that is not correct. That is totally wrong and incorrect. Examiners, they don't have numbers. If you go to the test and if you drive good, you will pass. That's the bottom line. There is no number they have in a month they pass. Your job is to go to the test and drive good, drive well. If you do, you will pass, no question asked. Okay? Because at the end, examiner, they don't have a choice. It's not up to them for them to pass or fail. If you drive good, they have to pass you. Because if you fail, they'll have to give you a reason why you failed. They can't just say, well, you failed and there's no reason. Okay? So there's no number how many they have in a month. You go to the test, you drive well, you drive good, you will pass. That's the bottom line. Okay? So get that off your head, because many learners, they do have that in their mind. It doesn't matter how well I drive, they're still going to fail me if they've reached their number. They don't have any number. Okay? You go, you drive good, you will pass. That's the bottom line. Next is just a reminder that when you go to the test, the first thing the examiner is going to ask you to do is to read a number plate 20 meters away. Okay? So the distance of 20 meters, you'll have to read a number plate. That's the first thing the examiner is going to ask you. If you can't read, you will fail your test. You're not going to be able to go into the car if you can't read. So the first thing you need to do is read a number plate. So I say make sure your eyesights are good. Sometimes you start the journey learning to drive and your eyesights are okay, and 3-4 months down the line you go to the test, maybe it's not okay. So make sure you check your eyesight regularly and make sure you could read from a distance of 20 meters. You need to read a number plate. If you need glasses or contact lenses to read from a distance of 20 meters, make sure you take your glasses or contact lenses. Like I said, if you can't read, you will fail your test, and that will be the first thing you will need to do. Can I take someone with me in the driving test? Of course you can. You could take your family member, you could take your friend, or you could take your driving instructor. But they could only sit at the back, but they can't help you. Okay? They can't do nothing. All they're going to do is sit at the back, and that's it. If they help, examiner will terminate your test and you will fail your test. So yes, you can take your family member or friends or maybe your driving instructor. They can go with you in the test, but they can't help you. They could only sit at the back and that's it. Can I take my own car in the driving test? Or family member's car or friend's car? Yes, you can. It doesn't have to be your driving instructor's car. Many learners, they think that it has to be a driving instructor's car and the car needs to have the dual control. No, it doesn't. You could take your own car, family member's car, friend's car, as long as the car is legal for you to take. Legal meaning it is insured, taxed and MOT'd. And also somebody sitting next to you who's been driving for 3 years and also who's over 21 years of age. Okay? So yes, you can take your car as long as the car is legal, meaning like I said, MOT'd, taxed and insured. And also you need to have 2 L plates, one at the front, one at the back, 2 L plates. Next is many learners, they do ask me this question on my channel, is that if I'm from another country and I have an international license, can I go to the test with my own car by myself without anybody else in my car helping me? Can I do that? Yes, you can. Number one, if you have an international license, that means you could only drive in this country for a certain time. After that, you will have to pass your driving test. Now, within that time, you are allowed to drive by yourself because you have an international license, which means if you have a test within that time, yes, you could go to the test by yourself with your own car, with the L plates on, and as long as the car is legal, meaning MOT, tax and insurance. Okay? So yes, if you have an international license, you can go to the test with your own car by yourself, as long as the car is legal for you to drive. Also, if you need any help on learning to drive and to pass the driving test, don't forget to take the advantage of our online course. It is designed to help learners learn to drive and to pass the driving test. The course has over 30 videos giving you everything a learner needs to learn to drive and to pass the driving test. I will leave a link on the description for you to have a look. Have a look and see. If you like it, you could always join the course. Next is seatbelt. Okay, make sure the first thing when you go into the car, put your seatbelt on. Many learners, they start the test without the seatbelt and then they remember they put it on. You will fail your test for that. Okay, seatbelts are legal requirements. You have to put the seatbelt on. It is against the law not to put the seatbelt on. So if you start the test without the seatbelt, and then you put it on, you will fail your test. So make sure, always remember to put the seatbelt on before you start your journey of your driving test. The next question is, when I'm reversing, can I take the seatbelt off? Yes, you can. So when you're reversing, maybe doing a parking, if your car is reversing, you could take the seatbelt off, but then if you need to go forward again, you must put it back on again. So my advice, I always say to my learners, is when you're reversing, don't take the seatbelt off. Leave it on your reverse, because if you take it off and then before you go again, you forget to put it back on again, you will fail your test for that. Okay? So in the beginning, always start the test with putting the seatbelt on. Make sure you don't forget that. And number two, when you're reversing, you can take it off if you want. By law, you can, but you must put it back on again before you go. My advice, don't take it off. When you're reversing, leave it on. That way, there's no risk of you forgetting before you move off again. So these are some of the most common ones I get asked by my learners about the driving test, and many learners are confused about them. Hopefully, I've covered most of them. If there are any I've missed, which I didn't cover, please do let me know. Ask me on the comment and I will try to answer. So that's it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed. If you did, please do give a thumbs up and please do make a comment what you think of the video. And if you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe so don't miss any of my future videos, and hope to see you again on the next video. Bye for now.